Ambassador Trell stood frozen at the viewport. His four eyes widened in disbelief as he stared at the blue-green planet below. The diplomatic vessel had just dropped out of hyperspace, and Earth, humanity's homeworld, rotated majestically against the void of space. "This cannot be correct," he whispered, mandibles clicking nervously. "Our records must be flawed." Behind him, Captain Morda checked the readings again. "No errors, Ambassador. This is indeed Sol 3 classification Earth, home to the species known as humans." Trell's skin rippled with distress patterns. "But that's impossible. Our sensors indicate atmospheric oxygen at 21%. That's literally combustible. And the gravity readings, how can they survive under such crushing force?" The Council of Galactic Species had been debating whether to invite humanity into their ranks for decades. The humans had achieved faster-than-light travel only 30 years ago, surprisingly quickly for such a young species. Their technology was crude but effective, and their diplomatic overtures seemed peaceful enough. But standard protocol required an assessment of their homeworld before official contact. The radiation levels alone would kill most sentient species, Morda noted, reviewing the data. And the temperature variations, they experience liquid water and frozen water on the same planet. Trell felt his secondary heart flutter with anxiety. "What's the galactic habitability rating?" Morda's voice dropped to a whisper. "Class 13. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. Class 13, a designation so rare that most considered it theoretical. Class 5 worlds were challenging. Class 8 were considered extreme. Class 10 and above were designated death worlds, uninhabitable by 99.8% of known sentient species. There must be some mistake, Trell insisted. No intelligent life could evolve under such conditions. Yet they did, said Science Officer Vex, approaching with a data pad. And it gets worse. According to our biological scans, humans have evolved to not just survive but thrive in these conditions. The screens displayed human biological data, and the bridge crew gathered around in horrified fascination. Their skeletal structure is reinforced with calcium deposits, essentially internal armor, explained Vex. Their skin regenerates continuously. They can survive the loss of entire limbs, recover from massive trauma, and their immune systems battle microscopic invaders constantly. Are they even truly sentient? Wondered Morda. Perhaps they're just highly evolved predators? Vex shook her head. They've created art, music, literature. They've developed philosophy, mathematics, and ethics. They're undeniably sentient. They just happen to be sentient creatures forged in conditions we would consider apocalyptic. The communications panel chimed. "Ambassador," said the communications officer, "we're receiving a transmission from the human space station." Trell composed himself. On screen, a human face appeared, hairless except for the top of the head and lower portion of the face, with only 2 eyes and a disconcertingly rigid exoskeleton covered by soft tissue. "Greetings from Earth," said the human. "I'm Director Thomas of the International Space Agency. We've detected your vessel in orbit. Welcome to our solar system." Trell struggled to maintain diplomatic composure. "Greetings, Director. We are representatives of the Galactic Council, here to assess your world for potential membership." The human smiled, displaying a row of hard white structures in its mouth that Trell realized with horror were used for grinding food. "Excellent. We've prepared landing coordinates for your shuttle. Our atmospheric composition is oxygen-nitrogen, gravity standard at 9.8 meters per second squared. Will that be suitable for your physiology?" Trell exchanged alarmed glances with Morda. The humans were inviting them to descend into that death trap as if it were a pleasure garden. We will need to make certain preparations," Trell stammered. "Of course," Thomas replied. "Take all the time you need. We understand that interstellar travelers often require adaptation periods." After the communication ended, the bridge erupted in concerned murmurs. "We cannot possibly land there," insisted Morda. "Yet diplomatic protocol requires a surface visit," countered Trell. "We could use environmental suits." Vex interrupted with new data. "Ambassador, I've been reviewing historical records the humans shared. Do you know what they call their planet? Earth. Their word for soil. Dirt. They named their world after dirt? Morta was incredulous. Yes. And here's something even more disturbing. They've survived multiple extinction-level events, ice ages, supervolcano eruptions, meteor impacts. Their recorded history includes plagues that killed millions, global wars, and radiation disasters. And each time, they've rebuilt. Trell felt a chill. They consider this normal? They don't just survive these conditions, Vex continued. Their fiction is filled with fantasies about even worse scenarios. They imagine worlds more hostile than their own, for entertainment. The briefing room fell silent as the implications became clear. The council must be informed, Trell finally said. Humanity isn't just another applicant species. They're Deathworlders. Apex. Survivors who evolved in conditions that would kill most sentient life instantly. Should we recommend rejection of their application? Asked Morta. Trell considered this carefully. No. I recommend immediate acceptance with highest priority diplomatic status. The others looked shocked. Consider what we've learned, Trell explained. Humans have evolved on a radiation-soaked, oxygen-rich, heavy-gravity world with extreme temperature variations and constant natural disasters. Their bodies are built to endure damage that would kill any of us. They're predators with problem-solving intelligence and a tendency to imagine worst-case scenarios. He looked at the blue-green world turning below. Would you rather have them as allies or as enemies? Because a species that calls a Class 13 Deathworld home isn't one I'd want as an adversary. The diplomatic mission returned with unanimous recommendations. Earth would be classified as a protected extreme biome. Humans would be granted special diplomatic status, and the Galactic Council would approach all future negotiations with the Yao. Utmost respect. After all, any species that could thrive on a Class 13 Deathworld wasn't just tough. They were practically indestructible.